First name, last name. So, in light of this historically contextual analysis of the OT3 level, I have a question. Is it beneficial and/or effective to use the Xenu myth as a tool to assist those inside the cult to awaken? Alternately, is the use of the Xenu myth helpful as a prophylactic for those who might otherwise seriously consider a commitment to the cult? WOGs. I ask this two-part question because you have the experience to clarify my understanding of how the Xenu myth might impact these two groups of people. I take it that those who are already clear may simply tune out and shut down at the mention of this mythology, but for the neophytes or the prospective victims, the question may be distilled thus: to Xenu or not to Xenu? That is the question. Okay guys, no flash answers this week. You got to send me some more flash answer questions because I got all these big long questions to answer and no real short ones. So if you have your flash answer type questions, go ahead and send them to me now, okay? All right, now as far as the to Xenu or not Xenu, it's a good question. I have always discouraged using the Xenu narrative in an effort to try to dissuade Scientologists from doing Scientology. It's just not going to work. The lower level people who haven't reached the Xenu narrative yet simply aren't going to believe you because it sounds so insane, and they've never heard of it, and they're never going to hear of it until they get to OT3. And if you give them too much of it and they start going on the internet and looking for stuff on it, they're endangering their own bridge and the bridge to total freedom, right? Their own progress in Scientology. And they are endangering ever getting to the Xenu narrative because those OT levels are closely guarded secrets in Scientology. And if you go online and start looking that stuff up, you'll be deemed a security risk by the Church of Scientology and you'll never get access to those OT levels. So that's kind of a thing. And I'm pretty sure that people in Scientology are made aware of that pretty early on, especially now that it's so widespread out on the internet. I can only imagine the measures that are being taken within the church to, run information control on people looking stuff up on Google. But it must be pretty extreme because they got, they got a lot of work to do in order to keep people's peepers off of that stuff. As far as non-Scientologists go, though, yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, people need to know, and it should be. I mean, this is the thing that we've always made the argument about with the Xenu narrative and the confidential information is that Scientology doesn't. They're not about. You don't have informed consent going into this group. This is what undue influence is all about. Is you go in there under the idea of one thing, and then there's a bait and switch that happens halfway through, and now suddenly you're on this whole other trek that you had no idea even existed, right? And if we believe a lot of the exes who have come out of Scientology who did OT3, then a lot of people who reach that level just go, oh my God, what the hell is this? And they have a real hard time believing it, a real hard time, moving on in Scientology with that, but they, shrug their shoulders and move on because cognitive dissonance is a beautiful thing. But I think that it's a great way to talk to somebody at the lowest levels who's either just foraying into the church or, is maybe considering it or, wondering what Scientology is all about. They should definitely be exposed to that information because they need to know what the real core beliefs of Scientology are. And the Xenu narrative is one of the core beliefs. And the important part of it is not Xenu, it's the body thetans and the whole exorcism of those body thetans from you, and the idea that your body literally consists of body thetans, and that this is something you're going to be doing for hundreds and hundreds and maybe even thousands of hours, telepathically contacting these body thetans and getting rid of them. That is not a small part of Scientology. It is OT3, 4, 5, and 7. And OT6 is learning how to do OT7. So it's a big chunk of the Scientology methodology and belief system, and people should know about that before they get involved in it. And if they find that endlessly fascinating and can't wait to get their BTs audited out, great, more power to them. Good luck and so much with your, I hope you got $1 million to throw away to the church. So that's I think that's pretty much everything I can say about that.